Today I'm going to review Monarch Money, but most importantly, I'm going to show you how it tracks all of your money and where it goes. And I'm going to show you whether it's worth it for you to sign up. The first thing I like about Monarch is its setup is super smooth. You can basically connect any bank, any credit card, or investment platform. And once it's linked, Monarch will go ahead and auto update all your transactions right into the platform. Monarch is also feature rich. You can create monthly budgets, track categories, and even set goals. Things like emergency funds or even a vacation you're planning. While you're doing that, Monarch is creating graphs of all of your transactions and your progress of your goals and your budgets. I would say the tracking it's doing is actually pretty detailed. It goes through your cash flows. It's doing that on a monthly, quarterly, yearly basis. You could then take that cash flow and create a report out of it and create this kind of graph here. I forgot it's called like Stackney or something like that. You could then create also a report based on your spending, and you could do that year over year as well, and you can see the kind of changes you've made. Hopefully it's better than the previous year, right? That's the whole goal of this. Now regarding those budgets, Monarch has went ahead and made changes based on customer feedback. In the past, they used to do everything more based on categories, but they made things easier where everything's now in 3 buckets. You have your fixed bucket. Basically, that's your fixed costs every month. So think your rent, mortgage, etc. The flexible one is your variables, things that change here and there throughout the month. And lastly is non-monthly. Those are expenses that might come every 3 months, 6 months, etc. For those, you could think of your once a year home insurance or your every 3 months car insurance. Whether you're using your reports or cash flows, they both have filters, and you can just filter down to anything you want. So you could do it based on merchants, what accounts. I'll get into tags later, goals, all these different categories. It's insane how much you can filter this by. You could also track recurring expenses, and those are either monthly or throughout the whole year. For monthly ones, you can think of those being your credit cards, or you could do your subscriptions like Netflix and other streaming services. One important aspect of this app is your goal setting, right? You want to create a goal and reach it. Well, in Monarch, you can set a goal, and that goal could have a target amount. You could have a budget and transactions and contributions related to that goal. This way you can see the whole picture and what activities you're doing that is allowing you to reach your goal. One of the biggest goals everybody has is retiring. So they have an investments section. It is limited, so if you like to get into the details of your investment accounts, this app might not be for you. But if you just like to see all your information in just one dashboard, this does the job. I would say it's doing its job if it's allowing you to see the information you want as fast as possible, especially on your main dashboard. So as you can see here, I have the getting started one, and I accomplished everything but inviting a partner. Well, let's say I don't want a partner. I'm gonna have this there all the time. Well, that's gonna annoy the heck out of me because I kind of OCD, right? So you can actually go to customize, and you could deselect it so it hides it, and you can move like budget up above it, so this way your budget's the first thing you see in the upper left corner. Another way it's doing its job is it has to pull all the information from your credit cards, bank account correctly, otherwise it categorizes them in the wrong category. So say you went to a restaurant and it categorizes it as a home improvement store like Home Depot. Well, if you think that's going to happen every time, you can create a rule that every time you go to that burger joint, it's going to classify it as a restaurant instead of a Home Depot type place. And the last way I think it's accomplished this job for you by seeing all the data you want is it has tags. And those tags are basically subcategories. So say you have home improvement as a main category and you're going to do a bath remodel, you could do the bath remodel as a tag. This way you could segregate the bath remodel if you ever need to in the future. And also when you're building reports, it's a lot easier to pull from tags than it is all these different categories. So if you only use like 3 tags, that's an easier way to pull from every single transaction you have instead of pulling from every single category you might have. So those are the main features, but I want to show you 3 bonus features it has that I really want to mention. The first one is the partner connection. You can give a spouse or somebody you trust access to your dashboard, and they can modify anything they want just like you would. And this is good for couples or anybody who shares their budgets or transactions, etc. This way, when you build a report, you can have the report show just you, just them, or both of yours, and they'll give you a better idea of how the household's expenses are doing. The second bonus feature they just got in 2025, and that is the ability to see your credit score. You just connect to this thing called Spin Wheel, and it's super secure, bank level security. Once you have it connected, it'll pull your credit card statements and your loan statements and notify you when you have an upcoming one, so you know when to pay your bills. Speaking of notifications, they have a lot. So you could get them on your phone or the desktop version, and it's kind of like a credit card. You can set different thresholds and budget stuff, just so many. So I would recommend going through them and see if there's one you like. I'm sure there's gonna be at least 3 to 4 you might want to have on. At this point, I want to let you know that I don't have a sponsor for this video. Monarch's not sponsoring it, but if you want to sign up using my link down below, you can get a 7-day free trial from them and or 50% off your first year. I'm saying this because if you use my link, you get that promo, but I also get a commission from them, and this is how I fund my channel. I only have a few things left to talk about, and one of them is they've now incorporated AI, but it's hidden. So you have to go to your settings, preferences, and you can turn on the AI assistant. This is kind of just like ChatGPT, where if you ask it questions about your financial information, it'll spit back answers. It can give you some advice. It's just like every other app nowadays, though they're not perfect. It also has investment transactions. For those, it'll start pulling in your dividends and things like that. If dividends isn't a major part of your income, I recommend just leaving that off because it's going to complicate things for you. And the last one is crypto. As you can see, in November of 2021 is when they last got crypto, and they only integrated with Coinbase. That's still the same story. I don't think it's going to change. So if crypto is very important to you, Monarch might not be for you. Those are all the features, whether hidden, bonus, etc. So real quick, I just want to tell you about the nuts and bolts of the whole app itself. So many people ask, is this safe and secure and private? Yes, it is 100% secure. They use bank level security. There's never been a breach that I'm aware of. For privacy, they don't sell your data. They make their money by subscriptions, and others agree. On the App Store, they have a 4.9 out of 5 stars out of 60,000 plus reviews. That is pretty good, I would say. The critical reviews say that not all banks will integrate. It's basically like small local banks, credit unions, and the like. They also say once they do integrate, sometimes things go missing, transactions, or they never are brought over at all. And I found a solution to those two things while doing my research, and I'll show you them real quick. For the first one, does Monarch integrate with your bank specifically? You could search for it here and it'll pop up if it does. If it doesn't, Monarch is not going to work for you. I do not recommend it. So for the second one, when you have transactions disappearing, all you have to do is see if the connection is strong. So say we're using Chase Bank, and by default, we probably set it up with Plaid. That's how you do the integration between Monarch and Chase. You can look to see if it's green. If it's yellow like this one, you can then go and change it within the app to something different. What you always want to have is green. If you have yellow or nothing, that's bad. And they walk through how to make that change in their help area. But what if you have problems that you can't solve yourself? It's not a connection issue, whatever. They do have a help center, kind of like Zendesk, stuff like that. Or they have a contact support button, which brings you to chat. In my chat, first it brings you to AI. I just said, hey, I want to talk to a person, and it asks me some follow-up information before it connects me to an actual person. I have saw in reviews that sometimes the wait times are long. They do have a phone number. You could try to Google that to find it. So if push comes to shove and you really need help, you could just reach out to them on Facebook, Twitter, or any social network, and they're most likely going to respond there because that's public. So don't do a DM, do it publicly. So that's the big picture of Monarch. So who's it for? I would say it's for people who want a simplified view of their complex financial history or activity. It's not really for students or people majorly in debt. Those are situations where they have better apps out there. So if you do like Monarch, I want to remind you that they don't have a free plan, but I do have in my description down below a link that'll give you 7 days for free, and it'll give you 50% off your first year. So instead of $100 a year, it's only going to be about $50. So that's less than $5 per month. That is the current promo, and it could change at any time. So if you're watching this 3 years from now, it might not exist anymore. So I'm just giving you the heads up. If you're still not ready, this video here is going to compare the Copilot app with Monarch once it's ready. Other than that, thank you for watching. Best of luck.